Q4 is the most important time of the year for any e-commerce seller, especially if you're in Etsy dropshipping. So in fact, 80% of Etsy's annual revenue is actually generated in the last 3 months of the year, which means October, November, and December. And if you want to be taking full advantage of the traffic and the spike from Etsy's Q4, you need to be taking action now. So in this video, I'm going to be explaining how you can prepare for Q4, including vertical and horizontal scaling, and why having multiple Etsy stores is the #1 rule for Etsy dropshipping. So firstly, let's start with why Q4 is such a massive opportunity with Etsy dropshipping. Think about it. You have all the holidays, which is Halloween, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, you have the Christmas periods as well. And Etsy is a gifting platform. So all the shoppers across the world, they're actually looking at giftable items on Etsy to buy, to gift to their partner, to gift to their friends and family in that specific period of Q4. So if you're waiting till October, November, or December to start setting up your Etsy stores, you're completely late because the winners on Etsy are actually preparing months in advance. So first of all, before we get into this, let's talk about vertical and horizontal scaling and their strategies. So vertical scaling is actually you're scaling one store with a winning product, and you're basically scaling up with that just one store. So it kind of looks like this. And you have more ad spend on your store, more variations, and more targeting. Now, vertical scaling worked great. However, if something happens to your store, if your store gets banned, if you run into any issues, or if that winning product dies, then you have no other stores bringing you a source of income. So horizontal scaling is actually the method that we use to prepare for Q4. And in that way, you have multiple different stores. You maybe 5, maybe even have 10, 15, 20 stores running at the same time. And that way you're diversified across all different niches and products. So if something happens to one of the stores, you still have income coming in from the other stores. So for example, let's say you have a store generating $10,000 a month in revenue. What you can do for horizontal scaling is to actually build 5 different stores in that specific niche, and you can have them at a low scale to maybe $2,000 to $3,000 a month, and that way you have the same amount of revenue as that one store. It's much safer, and also when Q4 comes, those numbers will actually multiply across all those stores, so you'll be having much more revenue coming in. Think about it like your investment portfolio, right? You don't want to be just putting all of your money into one stock and relying on that one singular stock. For a much safer and reliable investment, just like the S&P 500. So now let's talk about diversifying into different niches and what to actually run when having 5 or more stores on Etsy. So when you're diversifying your store, I want you guys to think about it strategically. Don't be just, copy and pasting the same product every single time on each of your stores. You really want to be diversifying into different niches. For example, if I was to have 5 stores, these are the 5 niches that I would run to diversify for maximum results for Q4. So I would have store 1, have a jewelry store, as jewelry is a very, very good selling niche. You can also, do custom jewelry as well. And it's also a giftable item, so it's perfect for that Q4 period. I would have my second store in home decor. My third store, I would actually run seasonal products. So depending on the season, for example, Christmas products or Halloween products, they sell super well on Etsy. So for my fourth store, I would run a digital product store. So for example, printables or even planners work really well. And finally, for my fifth store, I would run general fashion women's clothing, as general fashions women's clothing is actually one of the best selling niches on Etsy. So now let's dive into building your store foundation. So actionable daily tasks that you have to be doing, which are essential to really maximize your growth in Q4 for your Etsy stores. So the first thing, which is also the most important thing, is you want to be doing a daily listing on your Etsy stores every single day for each of your stores that you have running at the moment. So this is because Etsy rewards activity. So the more activity you have on your store, the more products you've tested on your store, the more likely you are to get sales on your Etsy store. So the second thing is SEO optimization in your titles for your listings on Etsy. So Etsy is a search platform, and no one's going to see your product if your SEO isn't good. So make sure to have the best SEO you can possible for each of your products. And this way you can hit on keywords. So for example, if someone searches the word jumper, your product will actually come up all the way to the very top, depending on how good your SEO is. This will really help with gaining traction for your newer Etsy stores, which will prepare you for Q4. Third thing is reviews. Now, reviews are so important on Etsy. If you have bad reviews on your store, no one is going to be buying it and no one's going to be trusting it. So make sure to build really good reviews on your store before really going into Q4, and that way the more customers will trust you and the more sales you'll get. So the last and final thing is actually building foundations and systems in your Etsy stores. So for example, for all of my Etsy stores, because it's super hard to maintain if I have 5, 10, even 15 stores, right? You want to be delegating VAs to be running your customer service on your stores and your product listings. That way you actually save time and you can actually work on what's higher ROI for your stores. For example, product research, marketing, and stuff like that. So now let's actually dive into a quick timeline and an action plan, which is set for you guys so you can inevitably succeed in the Q4 period. So in month 1, from August to September, you want to be building as many stores as possible. The more stores you have, the more you can scale and the more money you'll make. You want to be doing a daily listing each day on every single one of these stores. And you also want to be mass testing products to find winning products, because winning products really build momentum on your Etsy stores. So now when October comes around, you already have a couple of sales on all of your stores. You already have some nice reviews on there, so you build customer trust. And now what you can do is actually really scale the budget on your winning products. So you really want to be doubling down on your winning products, as it will build massive momentum on your store. You can increase the ad budget to $5 to $10 a day. And this way you will have more traffic coming into your stores. So then we come to November. So in November, you have Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So a lot of your stores will actually be really picking up and you'll be seeing massive volume on your stores. At this period, you just really want to be scaling, increasing the ad budget to even $50 to $100 a day, and really be scaling your winners. So that way you can actually make the most amount of money as possible in November. So then we come to December. So in December, you have Christmas demand. And in this time period, you really want to be maintaining your stores at a very high scale. And you also want to be checking up on your back end, your systems, really be handling the customer service and maintaining the store professionally. And this way it'll set you up super nicely to finish off Q4 with amazing numbers. So I actually run a one-on-one mentorship for Etsy dropshipping, just to help out people just like you guys who are in need of starting to earn an income online, to help scale clients from 0 to 5, 10, even $20,000 a month. So if you want to apply to work with me one-on-one, you can actually DM me on Instagram easy and I'll help you out. So if you really want to start earning an income online, I am telling you guys right now is literally the best time to start Etsy dropshipping. And an opportunity like this only comes around literally once per year. So really take that opportunity, guys. Take action. So that is the end of the video, guys. Thank you guys for watching all the way towards the end. Please leave a like and a subscribe down below, as I'll be posting a lot more Etsy dropshipping content in the future, and I'll be giving free value, free game for everyone that subscribes to my YouTube channel. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next.